Welcome back to another Sims 4 High School Years video. This early access content was made possible by the EA Creator Network, so thank you so much to them. And also that's why my origin username was going to be bouncing around screen while I'm building this. But today we're going to be building a thrift store slash bubble tea venue because those are actually the same lot type. So in High School Years, the new lot type, bubble tea, and thrift store. You know, you go there, you get your tea, you do some thrifting, all in the same place. Now, because we got the rounded walls added to the game, and we got so much art deco, architecture and items, it's a no-brainer to build an art deco inspired building with beautiful curved walls and windows. And I'm like, there's so many of those kind of buildings, at least around Sydney, I've seen a lot of them, just with those, front rounded corners, and those nice windows on them, that I was like, this is what we're gonna have to build. We're gonna have to do that here in The Sims, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So this build is obviously only using base game and High School Years. So once the game is out, I will make sure to upload it to the gallery. Obviously I can't share it before then, but remind me if I forget down the line, but I will be sharing this so you can all use it if you wish. It's also heavily inspired by the original thrift store that was here, that was built by Miss Griffey. So, because there was a few elements that I really liked of the original one, and they sort of did like little changing rooms with the new mirrors. Upstairs, they had almost like a function or dance studio space, which I also really like the idea of that you could use that and do whatever you want with that space. So I took some of those ideas from the original build, so thank you, Miss Griffey, for those ideas. Now, talking about the actual build here, yeah, I wanted to go as hard as I possibly could using the new curved walls on every space that I can. Now, they are pretty, let's just say, glitchy. I'm not surprised because the curved fence pieces and curved platform pieces all have the exact same thing, where you can kind of like cut walls into it a little bit. You'll notice around the back I did a section where I have a wall sort of coming into it before the curve finishes, which you're not really supposed to be able to do. You can see where that column is right there at the back. You can see, I can't put this second curve on the top, and I don't know if you saw the floor just then. It's all like a little bit wonky when you remove the platform. You can't say I can't join that section of platform together. It's like a separate room, but it all kind of works. Like it's a little bit glitchy, but it does present some fun opportunities to try and work around it and do some kind of things that you're not supposed to do. So I actually really liked it. And also, man, those walls are so good with the curved windows that come with it. You'll see once we start putting them on the build, because you can put there's a lot of like, at least base game windows that do fit onto these walls. And I assume when we have all the other packs, there'll be some that do fit too. But the ones that specifically are designed to curve around the wall, they look so good. They look so good, especially because they are obviously, Art Deco windows. They fit so perfectly with this build. Like, I had so much fun doing this, trying to build the exterior, and then even doing the interior. I wanted the building to feel kind of a little bit run down, but then like the bubble tea shop that we build inside is maybe, quite a bit newer. It looks a little bit shinier than the rest of the building. So you can see the windows here. I was just figuring out which ones I wanted to use. Those ones right there. Oh, I love them so much, and having that floor trim, the Art Deco floor trim in that sort of orangey red color going around as well. So much fun. I love this build so much. It was so cool to do it, and I'm so excited to see what everyone actually does with these curved walls, like outside of just Art Deco builds, because obviously in this pack with these build items, it's very much geared that way. But I think once we have every single pack, and everyone gets their hands on it, we're going to see some really interesting builds. I mean, I'm already thinking of the Victorian style homes you can actually build with a circular, turret going up the front, and instead of being an octagonal one. There's so much potential with it. Also, these Art Deco, parapets? Yeah, sure. Those are great. I've scaled them down, put them on the front of the building there. I wanted a nice sign here in the middle. There are some sort of wall painting signs that you can get in buy mode that I was trying to use, and it kind of just looked a little silly. It didn't really fit. But then I actually realized that there is also, from the actual high school, there is a physical stone sign for the high school. And I put that on the roof. So I guess it technically probably says something high school, Copperdale High or something. But for this shop front, I thought it was great. It was like perfect for it. Now, again, at the front here, I took some inspiration from the original build. The original build had a few things out the front, like a couple of the clothing racks, like they maybe put them out in the morning. So I decided I'd put like this old coffee table that maybe they drag out and a couple of lamps that is something you could buy. Now, I think this would also be a really fun retail lot if you change it into a retail lot. With Get to Work and then made this like a little store, like, you know, a thrift store, and actually sold like a lot of random items in it. I think it would be a lot of fun that way too. But yeah, I really love these curved walls. I think it adds so much to this build. I mean, doing this same build, let's just say with diagonal walls or square walls, it just would not have the same vibe at all. It creates a completely different feel to the lot and different aesthetic. And it's just so, so cool. Yeah, it's really great. I kind of just want the round walls to also allow you to do, well, no, I want a lot of things, so I shouldn't say I only just want, but I would like it to also work with half walls, because at the moment there's no half rounded walls that you can do. But I would imagine it's surely got to be possible, because obviously we got it with fences, we got it with walls, now we got it with platforms. I guess the only difference would be the half wall trims that you have on the top. Maybe they just didn't have time to apply that same functionality to it. But considering, I mean, I didn't think they would ever actually do it with walls, let alone windows that actually curve around the walls too. And also, even without move objects, you can place surprisingly a lot of things on the rounded wall, like a lot of like artwork and stuff in buy mode. Like a lot more than I thought would be possible. Like I kind of thought if we ever did get rounded walls in The Sims 4, there'd be like, you can't, like it wouldn't let you place anything on it. It would just be a blank wall. You can't do anything with it. But they are surprisingly really versatile. Even being able to put doors on the rounded walls and all that kind of stuff. It is really good. It is really good. And I'm super excited to play a lot more with it. And doing this build in particular was a lot of fun to figure it out. And this is also my first time looking through all the debug stuff as well, as you saw coming with high school years. There's a lot of cool debug stuff too. Like those like little fences I put around the back were nice. And here I was also just trying to blend the lot in with the world a little bit, getting some birch trees in these little planters around the building, just so it didn't feel like it was just plonked in the middle with nothing around it. Now up the top, I really wanted to do a nice open balcony that looks down. And I essentially wanted the building downstairs to have like a lobby area that was also sort of that separated the bubble tea and the thrift store. Like I didn't really want them to be in the same space specifically. I kind of imagined this to be like a building that, you know, had a couple, maybe a couple shop fronts, or even I guess 3 technically, that was maybe rented out separately. So we have the Boba tea downstairs, the thrift shop down and upstairs. It spreads over 2 floors. And then upstairs, we also have that sort of spare room or like dance studio. I put a couple of the cheerleading mats in there so you could go up there, practice your cheerleading in that room. So yeah, that was kind of the idea. Like I wanted this to be like a versatile looking space that maybe a few different businesses had started to occupy. Now with the layout more or less figured out, I'm actually using a new flooring that came, or I guess is coming in a base game update. Those floorboards are base game, but don't currently exist in The Sims 4. So they are new with this pack, and I kind of felt like they seemed right for this building. Like if this was like an older building that was maybe run down and dilapidated a little bit, you know, they haven't redone the floorings or anything like that. Maybe there used to be other like carpet over it that's been ripped up and that's just what's left. That's kind of what I was going for, that kind of feel. Also, you can't really get a sense and feel of it here in this time lapse. So when we get to the end of this video, we'll do a tour of the build. I'll show you some of the weird little glitches that we end up with the curved walls. None of it's game breaking by any means. Like everything still works fine, but the room system in Sims 4 kind of doesn't detect some of these as like complete rooms. So it is a little funny and it's a little finicky to work with, but you can still make something that looks really cool, which I'm more than happy with. So this over here is going to be our Boba tea store. And I wanted this to feel pretty like clean and pretty modern, except for the floor. I left the floor like that because I liked it. But yeah, like in terms of all the appliances, the wallpapers, the lighting, like it was pretty fresh, you know. And it's got this sort of almost blend in style of Art Deco and contemporary-ish, a little bit, obviously not fully, but we're sort of playing around with it. Also, those wall lights, I was just doing those like LED strip lights. So much fun. As you saw, I was trying to get them to fit nicely on the front of the counter. It didn't quite work, but I thought it was a cool idea. There's some really nice, as you can see here, new tiles and wallpapers that I think are like perfect for this build. I actually spent quite a bit of time designing the wall in this whole shop here because I want the right wallpapers to fit in the right spot. And at this point in time, I'm trying to figure out, I want to have like a menu, because there is like a menu piece, so you can see there. I was trying to figure out where to put it, and I think opposite the counter worked quite well. And we had like this little bar area here that I guess would maybe have like straws, napkins, that kind of stuff. But with base game and high school years, a lot of those kind of deco objects aren't in my game right now, so it was more just like a little piece that sort of fit in that area. I actually can't get over how good the rounded walls look with those windows. Every time I see it, I'm just like, yeah! I think it's such a cool addition that I just did not expect would even ever come to The Sims 4. It's kind of like back when they did the terrain manipulation update and they allowed us to, you know, build hills and cliffs and all that kind of stuff. It's just something I never expected to come to the game, but when it did, it just opens up all these massive possibilities. The fact that we now have that, we're going to see some really incredible things being built with it. And I mean, I love this. I'm putting these like high top tables with the bar stools in the curve of the window, and I was having so much fun just designing this space. Now, also another feature of the Thrift tea and the bubble tea store is that it needs to have a microphone, which I think I haven't played like a huge amount of this pack yet. I've done a few little Let's Play videos I've already recorded. But I think because there was like a fashion show here, I think maybe the microphone's used for that. I wasn't really sure, so I kind of just built like a little stage here in the bubble tea store. And I kind of was like, maybe they have live music. I don't know. So I'm not entirely sure what the microphone is used for. But yeah, we just got a little stage here. That's what I'm doing with it. Hopefully it's okay. We also need to fit a couch in here, which is specifically a 3-seater. So actually, as you can see, I put it against that back wall there. Well, I guess the front wall of the building makes more sense. Yeah, so we have enough sitting in there. Now we're moving over to the thrift store half of the build, which this is a lot of fun. This is kind of just like, let's place a bunch of stuff in here. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be kind of a little bit crazy. It's gonna be a good time. I also use, as you can see, I've already got a couple of items from Buy Debug out. Which you get from, you know, obviously entering the cheats, and there's just a few cool decorative items I wanted to use there. I also have this like 1x3 space here just behind the stairs, and it's kind of just like a little storage area, kind of. The whole section behind this spandrel is kind of like the counter area, so like behind, you know, where the shopkeeper would be standing around and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a little office storage area at the back there. That's the idea of it anyway. Obviously, none of it's really used that way, but that's just kind of how I set it up. And then, of course, these little, I guess, wall units, much like the ones in Dream Home Decorator, they snap together and you can like mix and match them all on the wall here. I had a lot of fun doing that, doing different patterns and colors. And oh yeah, I accidentally repainted half the building there, I think, or maybe I do that at some point. That's one of the glitches with the curved walls is because we're not getting rooms set up in the same way we normally would. It gets a little bit funky, but overall, it's definitely worth the trade-off. Yeah, and then there's a lot of slots on all of these for a lot of clutter. I didn't fill up every single one because I didn't want this lot to make you lag just visiting it. But you know, I feel like I put enough clutter and enough bits and pieces around that it makes it feel a lot more like, you know, stuff is just crammed in and messy. Oh, this rug, look how perfect it fits with the curved walls. Like I just size it up and it like fits in perfectly there. So I did those two rounded rugs at the front of the building, and I don't know, it just fits perfectly. I couldn't believe that. So I was like, well, I have to use it that way because they fit like absolutely like a glove. Now these clothing racks here, these are the ones that you actually shop on. So when you visit the thrift store, those are the ones your sim will interact with to create outfits or try on outfits. So those are the two that you actually use. Pretty much everything else is just decorative in this area. And then I do a couple more of those upstairs as well. But that's why I kind of think this lot would be really good with Get to Work and making it a retail store. Because then you could have all of this stuff on this counter for sale. Granted, like clutter items aren't worth too much, although those big old books are like $600, so it's not too bad. Then we also have an upstairs area here as well. Just trying to make this feel like there's a bunch of stuff just crammed in where it fits. So sort of putting it off kilter, a lot of little bits and pieces around, a side table. I mean, there's no real reason for it to be on a diagonal like that other than it looks like it takes up more space. Now, this is one of the parts that I borrowed the sort of changing room idea from the one that Miss Griffey built. I really like that. So we've got two changing rooms just here. I say changing rooms. They have a couple mirrors in them, much like the original. So you could go in there, change some plan outfits, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was just a really nice idea and a nice way to use some space. So I thought that's great. Let's do that. We'll get a couple of mirrors in there, do some funky lighting, and the new like doors that, well, I say new doors, but these doors that have all these custom like patterns and designs on them are so amazing. I love them. I love them so much. It's like perfect for this kind of store and this kind of lot. And then over here is the sort of spare room, dance studio, cheerleading area that you could use in that sense. So that is what this area is for. It's a closed off room, and there's actually a door from the back, so you could enter from the other side of the building. So it could be like, yeah, dance studio space is kind of the way that works. And just putting a bunch of vinyls up on the wall here, because I figure that's kind of a thrift store sort of thing to do. And I'm just going around, you know, changing the wallpapers. I wanted to add in more rugs as well, just like more to make it feel more full, like having the rugs around the floor, different types of rugs, different wallpapers. It kind of makes it feel more cluttered and more full, even though I'm not necessarily adding a bunch more stuff. Which is kind of the idea. Like I wanted it to feel like it was jam-packed full of stuff that you could come and browse, find a good deal, that, you know, that sort of vibe. And then up here, I got actually two of the actual regular clothes racks. So your sim, I think, can go to these and change outfit, I think. And if not, you know, we got the mirrors too. But yeah, it's just a different look of rack. Just again to add a few more elements to the build. And then yeah, this room, like I was saying before, just pretty much an empty space. I was gonna put in the big mat, as you can see, but it was a little too big. So I used the individual small ones. Though, actually, having said that, I think on some of the moves they do, they're like jumping. So I don't know if the ceiling is too low. I mean, I don't think it actually is in gameplay. Like, I think it's fine, but it's just something I thought about. But yeah, so you can come as a cheerleader, or you don't have to be a cheerleader, but come to those mats, and that's where you can perform or practice routines. And then just a few, you know, posters and diplomas and stuff around the wall if this was some sort of studio space. And that's all. A couple of chairs. Simple as that. That's pretty much the build, and then I think I just do maybe a couple of little benches and stuff outside, just because it seemed like we needed a little bit more around in some certain areas just to finish it off, because we've got these big balconies out here. Might as well utilize them. Granted, a bench isn't, you know, the best thing in the world, but you know, it's something to do. You go out there, you can sit and enjoy the view. Now let's have a look in-game at this build. All right, so here we are at the lot in-game. I'm so happy with this. I think it looks so cool. I don't know if I've already expressed that multiple times, but I think it's so cool. I love the rounded walls and all the Art Deco features that are, you know, added to the columns and the floor trim, the little roof fence up here as well. You can also see one of the various glitches with curved walls. There's a random shadow there. Yeah, they're a little weird. And I can show you a little bit more what I meant about these corners here. So you can see here, this curve is, so basically the way they work, if you don't know, they're kind of like one piece. You can kind of see it highlighted here. And you can't make the curve any smaller than that or like cut into the floor. So really you're not supposed to be able to put a wall or a fence or anything this point here, but I did, and it kind of worked. And I really like the half section of curve there. So I ran with it, but it meant the roof was a bit weird and I could only do a diagonal roof. So there is that, but you know, it's around the back, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then, let's see, actually you can see it better here, the highlighted section of, that's the rounded wall section there. And you can see here, look, if I select this room, for some reason, this wall in the middle is not cutting this into two rooms. I don't know why. It's not, again, it's not really a problem. The lot still functions and all that. It just means when you're actually in build mode building stuff and painting walls, you got to be a little bit careful, because if I were to say, grab this, and I was like, I want to paint this room, because the room is all of this, it paints the whole section. So just be careful when you're using them. Oh, also here's another little glitch. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, this is also an early version of the game. It might be fixed at launch. But again, to me, that's not really a big deal. It's just a visual glitch. It's actually not that bad. And then, let's see. Down here, same sort of thing, actually, I think, with the rooms. Yeah. So you can see we've got a wall down the middle here. Even this is all cut off. And for some reason, this whole thing is one room. I don't know. Again, not really a problem. It still all works. It's not actually a big deal. But yeah, this is the build. I'm jumping to live mode here so we can have a look. It's our little thrift, a bubble tea store. Let's go in and check it out. Oh yeah, dancing to the speaker. Can you not dance like right in the entrance? Oh, fashion browser. Okay, where's the bubble? Are you the bubble tea person? Yes, I would like to order bubble tea, please. I know this is a build video, but you know, I just want to show that it works. Order drink, taro milk bubble tea, please. One of your finest, please. It's a really formal outfit for bubble tea. I guess they respect the craft a lot. Yeah, I love this little space in here too. The walls there and sitting there. And these tiles are so cool. I love it. I love it. Oh, and these lights up here, I didn't change them, but if you change the color of them, let's just say, oh, I have to do them one by one. That'd be kind of annoying. Oh, Katrina! But if you change the color of the light, it's actually kind of cool because, you know, that changes and the glow coming off it changes. Nice RGB strip light. Oh no, we're gonna put it back. Yeah, so that's that. Then over here we've got the thrift store. You know, so you can come in here. So like I said, this is where you browse about fashion. Look, you know, let's go about. Let's have a look. Oh, it's taking out the trash. Very nice. Oh, cool. There's a whole pop-up. I didn't actually know that was a... I didn't know that was a thing. Cool. All right, then up here. Oh, I'm hanging out upstairs. Look at me go. I can go over here into this little room, perform a solo routine into the little spare studio space, and I put the mirror right next to it, you know, so you can see. Good one. Actually a really nice view. And there's like a little radio there as well in case you want your routine music playing. But yeah, that is the build. Beautiful new build tool. The walls, man. Those walls, so cool. It's so cool. I can't wait to build more stuff with them. But thank you so much for watching. When the Sims 4 High School Years is officially released, I will post this on the gallery if you are interested. Again, this is just base game and High School Years, which means if you own the pack, you can download this. There won't be any problem. It'll work. Nothing missing. So I think that's a nice little bonus. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time and have an awesome day.